Namaste, friends. It's a deep pleasure to return to Sikkim University, my second home. I thank Professor Vilambita and her colleagues for this opportunity. My years here remain close to my heart. The warmth of my erudite colleagues across the departments, the curiosity of my students, the all-along supporting administration, office people, and other supports. Altogether, there was a sense of working as a team. Being back today carries a prize feeling of homecoming. Thank you once again. The theme of this seminar invites a fundamental question. How does an art form sustain itself not only aesthetically, but socially in a rapidly changing world? Raga music is often described with reverence. It's timeless, profound, spiritually rich. All of that is true, but we must ask, is reverence alone enough to sustain a knowledge system? Or must relevance also play a role? In contemporary education, most disciplines demonstrate a visible pathway from learning to livelihood. However, in Raga music, this pathway often remains uncertain. While some students become performers, teachers, or researchers, many gradually move away, not due to lack of ability, but due to limited structural absorption. This lecture addresses that gap by asking, does current Raga pedagogy align with contemporary societal structures? And how might it evolve without losing its depth? The reflections I present today emerge from a combination of lived experience, pedagogical observation, and evolving digital practice. Let me begin with a brief encounter. I was on a small flight to Agartala. I recognized a member of the cabin crew as my former Sita student of the Rabindranath University. He later approached me privately, touched my feet, and for a brief moment the teacher-student relationship returned with full intensity. This was not a story of loss, but of disjunction. It is a student deeply trained in Raga music now working outside the field, not by failure, but by circumstance. Placed alongside, this is a contrasting observation. A student named John Brennan of US, who learned sitar under me entirely through online instruction, without physical proximity or traditional Gurukul setting, yet reports depth and transformation in learning. These two cases, one of displacement, the other of digital possibility, frame the central inquiry. From these observations, I adopt a conceptual approach based on a transition from preservation to participation, supported by what I term applied cultural value, the ability of a knowledge system to function meaningfully within contemporary life. To structure this, I propose a four-stage model: heritage, applied cultural value, digital mediation, sustainable ecosystem. This four-stage model offers a way to reimagine Raga pedagogy without diluting its core. Let us talk about heritage foundation. Raga music remains rooted in deep listening, internalization, and responsible improvisation. This foundational layer is non-negotiable. However, digital tools can extend it through archives, comparative listening, and documented pedagogy, allowing students to engage with multiple stylistic interpretations. Now let us take applied cultural value. At this stage, pedagogy expands outward Raga music is understood not only as performance, but as a system of emotional articulation, cognitive engagement, and cultural communication. Its relevance emerges in areas such as wellness, media, and interdisciplinary studies. This shift allows students to perceive music as an active societal resource. Digital mediation. Technology introduced a new learning environment. Online teaching, global classrooms, and analytical tools enable broader access and deeper engagement. Pitch visualizations, rhythmic analysis, and pattern tracking become possible. However, the role of technology remains supportive. It must enhance, not replace, musical depth. Finally, we shall talk on sustainable ecosystem. When the previous stages interact, a larger ecosystem forms. Students are no longer confined to traditional roles. They can function as performers, educators, digital creators, researchers, and cultural practitioners. Digital platforms further enable dissemination, collaboration, and independent production. An additional development within this model is the emergence of intelligent archives, systems capable of segmenting, tagging, and analyzing musical content, transforming archives into active pedagogical tools. The implications of this framework return us to the central concern. The student on the flight and the student online represent two trajectories, both shaped by the same system, yet leading to very different outcomes. If Raga pedagogy remains narrowly defined, it risks gradual attrition of talent. This loss is often invisible, occurring not through failures, but through quiet redirection. However, if pedagogy expands carefully and thoughtfully, it creates continuity without compromising depth. It is important to emphasize that this is not a call for dilution. Raga music must retain its rigor, its subtlety, and its aesthetic discipline. But depth does not require isolation. Tradition does not require immobility. What is needed is balance. Balance between preservation and innovation. Balance between depth and accessibility. Balance between heritage and participation. A knowledge system ultimately survives not only through respect, but through relevance, through its ability to participate in the life of its time. If Raga music can position itself not only as a cultural inheritance, but as an active presence in contemporary society, its future becomes more secure, not by protection, but by participation. And perhaps then, when we encounter our students years later, we will find them not outside the field of looking in, but within it, contributing to its next evolution. Here are the final takeaways. Music education becomes transformative when tradition is preserved. Its value is activated in society. Technology expands its reach, and institutions nurture a living cultural ecosystem. Thank you.